Welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob. Game two for us. But out of the gate, I got something here that I think is fun to start out with. Um, One, because it has to do with gambling, and two, because it has to do with Notre Dame and sports. So I know your disdain for Notre Dame. Um, it's not as large as mine, right? I don't really dislike them. They're just kind of like indifferent to me, but all the same. The Notre Dame men's swimming program has been suspended for competition for a year following investigations that revealed concerns regarding gambling and culture, said the school's athletic director. So these findings are contrary to the university's values and all we stand for in Notre Dame athletics. AD Pete Bavacqua said in a statement, in order to ensure that this behavior ends to rebuild a culture of dignity, respect, and exemplary conduct, we have decided to suspend the men's swimming program for at least one academic year. So they go on to say, their school is trying to educate students who, quote, make mistakes. A majority of the swimmers who returned for the 24-25 season are believed to have placed bets on collegiate athletics, according to Sports Illustrated. The review done by external investigators, quote, documented numerous violations of NCAA rules prohibiting gambling on intercollegiate swimming and other athletic competitions, despite clear and recurrent training provided to all of our student athletes by athletics compliance staff about those rules, said Notre Dame in a statement. Coaching staff was not disciplined, and the men's and women's dive team are separate. So it's just the men's swimming team. And they're done because they were betting on sports.
Which is their excuse to cut programs. Because I've heard
Yeah,
that's like been happening in some of these athletic departments.
yeah.
Um,
So I'm trying to
or
find a little bit more about this because the original thing I saw was on the Roca, right? The Roca News app. And what they said was Notre Dame suspended its team for 1 year for numerous violations of gambling. And then they said an independent report confirmed the allegations of misconduct and offer a bigger picture of the team's, quote, troubling behaviors. So they keep saying, like, there's other things going on. It says gambling among other troubling behavior. So, like, the Roca app kept saying that, like, this investigator or investigation company, whatever, is noting like gambling plus troubling behavior. And like, I'm trying to figure out what the troubling behavior is for the men's swim team, but I can't really find anything more on it. They're just talking about gambling, like betting on college sports. So I'm trying to look through like a bunch of different articles here, and I'm not getting it. Okay,
yeah,
I got one. So this is on the Bleacher Report. Um, According to 40, who I'm assuming is one of the investigators, the team effectively created its own sports book to make wagers on performances, and most of the returning team is believed to have placed these bets. One team created over-under lines for swimmers' times in races, and members made wagers on those outcomes. 40 noted that no gambling companies accept bets or produce betting lines for collegiate swimming. So sounds like they were just betting on their own performance, right? Like, oh, Jeff is swimming the 100 meter this weekend, over under fucking 32 seconds, right? 32 and a half seconds, right? What do you got? And then they would just bet on it with amongst themselves. I mean, that's actually not that bad.
That's why it might be like, hey, you guys definitely broke some rules, but we're also looking to cut programs.
Yeah.
Maybe. 'Cause I've heard like track and field is like subject to that, and I got to imagine swimming is just like track and field, like because it's like there's so many events, which means there's so many swimmers, which means there's so many fucking rostered people and money and buses and all that shit. And I could be making that up completely. I know really nothing about collegiate swimming
I mean,
programs.
they're not cutting the program though. They're just suspending from
Oh, I
competition
thought
for
you
a
said they
year.
were. I thought you said they were dropping the program.
No, they're suspended from competition for a year.
Oh, I thought I heard. I thought that's why I thought that's why I went with that because I thought I heard you because I didn't think that I thought that was extreme penalty. That's why.
Yeah. No, 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 no.
Oh, I thought yeah. Okay, so I didn't hear you right.
They're suspended for a year, the whole team.
Um, I mean, punishment probably fits the crime.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
That's the thing. You can't. So you can't run numbers on a college campus anyway, let alone
well,
if you
yeah.
are college athletes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can find out like what other kind of like crazy shit they had running, and I just can't find it. The most I could find was that from Bleacher Report, where they effectively created their own sports book. I was thinking there was going to be some sort of like, hazing, or like they did some weird shit,
Yeah, it's usually how it goes.
but the worst thing it says is they created their own sports book. It's also self-implied or self
Applied.
applied. Jesus. Um, like Notre Dame suspended the program for a year, right? The NCAA didn't do it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's also the weird thing that they do, like to get ahead of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Michigan is kind of going through that, right? Right now. And Harbaugh was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I didn't do any of it.
Yeah, I hate when that shit like when the coaching staff's gone and then they try to like
Yeah.
bury the program, but it's like, but the people who were in charge are they're not here anymore.
Yeah. And the guy that was there that probably was doing it, right, sits there and goes, nope, I had nothing to do with that while I was there. If anything happened under my watch, I was unaware. And it's like, okay, as if I didn't hate Jim Harbaugh enough. Not that I give a shit about like integrity of the game or anything like that, but like, you don't have to like just lie to everyone's face, right? You could have been like, I don't know, no comment. I'm not, or you, right? Like, you could just be like, I'm not going to comment on any of that stuff. I'm no longer with the program. I wish them the best, but I have nothing to do with them. So I'm not going to comment. I'm going to move on. Right. Like, you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I had nothing to do with it. And if it happened under my watch, I was unaware. That bullshit, dude. You were the head coach of one of the 10 largest football programs in the entire world. Right. Like, they might even be top five. Right. It's probably Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Michigan, right? And
Yeah, I
then
mean they're
after,
up there.
I mean, after that, you're with like Clemson,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, Florida State, Florida, Miami, right? But all those teams, like, they're not as big as Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, right? Like, those are the top three,
Texas.
and Texas, yeah. Despite Texas not being good, like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're a huge program. So that's probably your top four. I might throw USC in there too, just similar along the lines of Texas. Like, even though they haven't been good lately, like, they're still a massive program.
That's the thing. They're also the only show in town that matters where they are.
Right. Right.
Same with Texas.
Yeah.
Like almost in their region.
Right.
Now, Oregon being good certainly balances a little bit, but Oregon's never going to be.
Yeah, but yeah, Oregon's not a USC, Texas. Like there's tiers to it, right? For like, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be good, right? Like I said, like Texas and USC really haven't had the recent history, but they're still massive football programs. But yeah, Harbaugh had no idea what was
Well, he's
happening.
old. Why would he
Yeah,
admit to anything?
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like he could have just said, like, I'm no longer with the team. I wish them the best. I'm not going to comment on it. So, you know, it's an unfortunate
No,
situation.
it's
I
the
wish
same
them all the
idea.
best.
Like, you know how like the old steroid loophole where like if you retire, you can't be tested for steroids or something, or yeah, if you retire,
Yeah,
they
you're not
can't
you're
test you
right,
for steroids.
right.
So that's why a lot of people thought,
Roger Clemens
um,
retiring every year and then coming back.
yeah, which and then the dude in CrossFit used to do it every year too. So they used to think he was as well, which he probably was. That dude was fucking
I mean, the most famous one was
yoked.
in weightlifting at least, not the most famous, but the most famous one in weightlifting was Scott Hasaka. He was gassed to the gills, won silver, I think, in the Pan Ams, and then retired. It was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you just won a silver medal in the Pan America Games. He was like, nope, I'm retired.
Yep.
And then did I ever tell you the
And then
story
after the Super Bowl,
of his girlfriend?
no.
So I forget his girlfriend's name, but she won a medal at some point, right? So he retired. She wins a medal maybe like 6 months later or a year later. Like he had already been retired for a while. Again, there were allegations of him using PEDs, so he just flat out retired. She pops hot after she medals, and she tests positive for like some whatever drug it was, oxandrolone or fucking trenbolone, whatever the one it was. Her excuse was that she swallows Scott Hasaka's load, and because he's on steroids,
She's
and
on
she
steroids.
she she gets the steroids from his semen by swallowing.
Did that argument hold up in
No, it did not. It did
weightlifting
not work.
federation? That's so weird.
But like that was her excuse. She's like, "Oh no, I don't use steroids. My boyfriend does steroids." And it's like, okay. So that did not work.
Um, anyway, the reason I brought that up was it's kind of like the same thing. Like if you created like infractions, you're still not gonna like admit to it after. Like the same way like Harbaugh is not gonna like he's not gonna
Yeah.
no comment because he can't be called on it. Um, but it's like the same idea. Like you're not like yeah, again, like you don't have to say like you can't get in trouble because if you turn around and be like, yeah, no. It's like he's not in the league, he's not in college football anymore.
Right.
He's in the
Right.
pros, so
Right.
everyone knows he did it. Like
Yeah.
we're arguing semantics here. And then at the same time, fuck the NCAA.
Yeah, because I
Like,
mean the other thing too would be the Bill Belichick Deflategate thing, right? Well, I'm not the Mona Lisa veto of footballs here, but the one thing I do know, right, is the temperature change and the noble gas law and all of this shit, right? That he like went in and everyone was like, oh my God, which come to find out, I mean, he's not wrong, right? Like we all talked about it. We were like, hey, you ever wonder why in the wintertime when it gets really fucking cold out, you got to go put air in your tires? Like, why is it when you on the first cold day of the year, you turn your car on, your tire pressure light comes on? Oh, low tire pressure because air density changes at different temperatures, right? So it's like Oh, they were a couple PSIs off. Yeah, man. I mean, it was really fucking cold when they played. Now, did they probably still deflate the balls anyway? Yeah, probably. But it was probably exacerbated because of the weather. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, you get multiple different ways you can attack it. I personally just also don't like Harbaugh, so my my biases are going through there. But
I mean, he's a clown, but
yeah. Um what else? Oh, I saw this the other day. This is really stupid. We've talked about this before. We don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but in the most recent version of why people are the dumbest shit ever, I saw they attacked Lionel Messi's mansion in Ibiza or Ibiza, depending on who you ask. Um, he obviously is like a multi-bajillionaire. He signed like a massive deal with the Miami team in the MLS. He's obviously also made tons of money just on his own. And climate change people attacked his mansion in Ibiza. He wasn't there, right? But they like, I think they broke windows, they spray painted the outside walls, like they just trashed his mansion. And it's like, what's the point? What was the point of that?
I don't know what any of these people are doing. Like they're attacking what people think is like signals of wealth and signals of, like rich people. Because like obviously like the golf courses on Long Island have been targeted before,
Yeah,
but everyone just thinks you're an asshole. Like that's all I think of these things now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we talked about that before, right? Like I feel like we've talked about this a million times.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
it was the big one, like
now,
because some
now
of it was the
I hate
artwork,
you.
right?
Yeah, it was the artwork, right? People attacking the artwork, the morons that super glued their hands to the highway, right? And sat on the highway to block traffic. It's like this is not the way for you to get me to agree with you because now I hate you more and now I'm going to do things that you don't want me to do just because you're a fucking dick and I'm also a dick, right? So because I'm a dick and I hate you, if you don't want me to increase my emissions, well, I'm going to go buy a bigger truck next time, right? I'm going to buy two steaks when I go out instead of one. Right? Like, oh no, we have to go vegan and electric cars. Okay. I'm going to get in my pickup truck and I'm going to drive past three grocery stores to go to the fourth grocery store, right? To create more emissions. And I'm going to buy extra steaks and I'm going to eat all of them just to fuck with you because I hate you.
Oh, here's the other thing. It's been 3 years, but we've been, I'm not gonna say doing work at the house. We've done like minor things like clean the deck, trim some bushes, shit like that. But like I'm already remembering like how bad some of the shit I used to do in Mansfield was. Because like the other thing too is so the woman that we bought the house from like left like there's like a million fucking paint cans in the house.
Yeah,
And
classic.
I know what most people would do. Most people would
Chuck them in the woods.
find no, most people would find like what's the correct way to dispose of this. Now I'm gonna look at them, and I'm gonna look at the colors, and I'm gonna see what I can use. And whatever I can't use, if it's up to me, those will be disposed of in all types of different places.
Yeah,
And I don't care. And it's like, well, you can't just throw out paint. Why?
sure you can.
Oh, you can't just throw out uh mercury thermostats. Why?
Sure can.
Sure can. Already have.
Yeah, yeah. Done it before. We'll do it
That's the
again.
thing. They might end up in dumpsters. They might end up in fucking yards. They might end up buried. I don't know where they'll end up.
Yeah, whatever.
Same with the paint. Probably won't end up in the sewer, but I'm not saying it won't.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
And like in that's the thing is like, well, no, you gotta properly dispose of this stuff. No, I'm not doing it. So it's like all these environmental people, like you are the problem. Like if
Yeah,
you don't want me to throw my batteries away, stop fucking being an asshole.
yeah.
So until then, I'm going to continue to throw my batteries directly in the trash.
Oh, I do all the time anyway. I don't give a shit. Batteries go right in the trash. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know.
Recycle
I don't
batteries?
I don't even know what you're supposed to do with
Yeah, I
them.
have no idea what the proper way to dispose battery.
You ever
You're
light
gonna
batteries
take them
on
to
fire?
Staples?
You ever like
Yeah,
yeah, they burn green. It's pretty good.
yeah, yeah. I feel like we threw a couple in the fire in Mansfield at one point. We threw a lot of shit
We
in the
do a
fire
lot
in
of shit.
Mansfield.
So that's another thing is I gotta figure out. I was talking to Michaela. I was like, "Oh, we need a fire pit." She goes, "We have a fire pit." I go, "There is no fire pit." She goes, "No, we have the solo stove." I go, "Oh, I'm gonna need a business fire pit
Yeah, yeah.
because the solo stove, I have had flames like ripping out of that thing before
Oh yeah.
because I've only known how to make a fire one way and it's too big.
Oh, it's a business fire.
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna be quite the oil drum, but definitely gonna have to build a business fire pit.
Yeah, that thing was handy.
Oil drum was crazy.
Yeah,
Like thinking back on COVID too, because it's like I haven't done yard work since early 2021,
yeah.
and
Since
I'm
we
like,
cleared the backyard, we cut down a bunch of
and I'm like
trees and
thinking
burned the
back
fucking grass.
and like thinking back to during COVID, the way that I cleared out uh most of the back, like when you guys were inside, like on like fucking Zoom, whatever. I was just like spraying
Lighter fluid.
kerosene.
Yeah,
Because didn't we have kerosene?
I think we might have. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it was just lighter fluid. Did I burn paint thinner too? I might have burned paint thinner.
I think you did. I think you ran out of whatever you were using and was like, paint thinner works, right? I can light
That'll
that on
light.
fire. Yeah,
And I would just spray it and just light it.
yeah. It was a
And that's
controlled
how
burn,
I had been
semi-controlled.
drinking on a Tuesday and spraying and burning shit in the backyard. So it won't get quite that bad again because there is no area of like overgrown nothingness.
Yeah, I mean, it did work. We did clear the whole
I cleared it
space.
all out.
Yeah. Yeah, we cut down what, 4 trees?
I think we cut down 4.
And you only got poison ivy once.
I think I think when we were cutting the trees down, I don't think I got it because I had already gotten it back there
Okay.
a few times.
I just remember the one time it got real bad and you had to get put on
Which
prednisone.
one on my arm or on
Yeah,
my yeah, so my entire
the
oh, okay,
entire
hold on.
arm. I think that was the first time we cut down the tree. The first tree that we
Maybe it
cut.
was the first tree
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think back because
You
I
had to
know I
have your
got it.
arm wrapped like a fucking mummy.
Yeah, that was bad. I was playing. Yeah, that was mess. So I got the poison ivy on my left arm, and that was bad. But that was when I grabbed a random branch to just throw in the fire. And I got it bad on my leg at some point. But yeah, I think the worst one, like the worst forearm, I think that might have been after the first tree because I had cleared out all the poison ivy. I had cleared
Yeah.
out all the leaves. There was nothing but dirt, and my arm still blew up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, after that one, I think I was just covered up from then on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
That
know if I
was,
got I don't know if I got any poison ivy at the new spot. It doesn't look like it.
I'm sure it'll find its way there.
Probably.
There's fucking poison ivy everywhere. It's New England.
Well, anywhere that I would like go. Well, I say that, but then it's like I ended up in the back of the fucking place
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Just digging through the woods.
Yeah.
Good times. Let me see here. Oh, here's an interesting one. Um, so I thought this was weird that I got an email a couple weeks ago from Department of Education, right? And Nelnet being like, oh, we've put your loans into forbearance, right? And I'm like, why? Why the fuck did you do that? I didn't ask for that. So I do a little digging, right? And then they sent me like a letter. They sent me an email like a couple days before that. It was like, you have new correspondence. I never read that shit because it's always like, oh, you're recertifying, or oh, there's an update to this, or all that. It's never important, right? So I just don't read the shit. I my student loans are set to auto pay every month, so it's just an automatic deduction. The money comes out. I don't think about it, whatever. So I logged in and I read the thing. Apparently, the SAVE program, right? Like the new student loan program that Biden put out, um, is being held up in court by some fucking Congress people from Republican states. So as a reaction, I suppose, to that, what the Department of Education decided to do was put everyone's loans in forbearance
Fuck is forbearance. That's just like,
indefinitely, meaning it doesn't accrue interest. So you don't owe a payment, and you don't accrue interest. It's basically what happened during COVID, right? When they just kept extending like the
yeah.
0% interest. Like that's what they decided to do in July. And they were like, yeah, we're just going to we're going to take away the payments, right? So you're not going to accrue any interest and you're not going to owe anything. I'm like, well, this is fucking stupid, right? Like, I thought we went through this already, right? Like, I thought we did this like a year ago. Like, what are we doing, right? So they just randomly decide, oh, yeah, no, whatever. And then my Nelnet, right now, this could be just because it's anticipating change, right? But Nelnet projects my next payment to be due in November. What do we know happens in November? The election, right? So it's like, okay, did you really just decide to put the everyone's loans in forbearance until the election just so you would hope that some people might vote for you?
Yep.
Because the official letter from Miguel Cardona, who's the czar of the Department of Education, said indefinitely, right? And we know that even though whoever gets elected in November, at this point, it doesn't matter whether it's Kamala or Trump, right? Because neither one of them is the president right now. Um, they don't get sworn in until January, right? So they don't become president until January. So it's kind of interesting that they decided in July, oh, we're going to freeze all interest and all payments through November. Hmm.
Interesting. That's an interesting coincidence you figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. Just an odd coincidence. Nothing
Yeah.
to see there. Yeah. Yeah. And also odd that these Republican Congress people have been attacking the SAVE program since it was officially announced, right? It didn't go into effect until July or fully, right? Like there were parts of it that went live last year, but then the full effect of it went live in July. And then randomly, they go in July, huh, we're just going to pause everything because it's in the court system. Yeah, but they were challenging it last year too, right? Like they've been challenging it forever. It's been in the court system for a while. But now because it like fully, because there was like 85% of whatever the program is went into effect the day that Biden signed on the dotted line, right? And the other 15%, whatever those perks and bonuses were, went live on July 1st of 2024, right? So the program itself happened in 2023, and then it fully implemented in July of 2024. Kind of odd that when it first got sent out in 2023, that was the whole thing, right? It was like Missouri, Texas, Tennessee, maybe Mississippi, right? I think the governors from those 4 states like filed an injunction or whatever. Nope, they just kept on keeping on, right? But then in July, nah, it's in the court system, guys. So we're just going to pause everything in quote unquote indefinitely. However, my account says that my next payment is due at the end of November. Was it indefinitely or was it just through November? Because the letter that came out said indefinitely. Just odd timing. Sure, I'm sure it's purely a coincidence. And I mean, again, I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep paying the same amount every month.
Well, if they technically too, you're only getting what, 2 months out of this?
Yeah, July, August, September, October. 1, 2, 3, 4, four
Oh, I
months.
didn't wait, but okay.
Oh
So
no, so it went
they
into effect in July, right? So July's payment doesn't count. So August, September, October. So three,
so three
three
months.
payments. Yeah, it's 3 months. Three
Well,
months
it's
of
3 months of
zero
interest
interest.
free for you, which is
Correct.
that's good. Again, it's like,
Yeah, again, I'm gonna keep paying the same amount every month.
yep. I mean, you're gonna be knocking off. I forget. I know we did the math one time, but like you knocked off months or years or whatever.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Again, it's like every month where you don't have to pay interest is just another month to get that balance down,
right, right,
thus paying less interest.
right. Yeah, I think I might be, I forget, I might be sub 40 finally. I might be like 39 and change. Finally. Yeah, it's so fucking bad. I know we talk about it all the time. Like that was so fucking stupid to take those loans for grad school when I got to go to grad school for free. That was $20,000.
I think there's a Twitter account called Bad Financial Takes.
Yeah,
You could submit your case study
yeah. If I
for
didn't
review.
have, so if I got to 39 minus, I would only have like 19. I would have less than 20 grand right now left. And
But you'd
realistically, it would be even
it
less
would be
than
even
that
less because
because I
you
would
were
have been paying
accruing,
less. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because you would have been accruing interest on a higher amount.
Right, right. Yeah. So I'd be accruing less interest, right? And the total amount would be lower. And it would have been paying more on those loans for longer, right? Because like when you pay one monthly sum, that number gets broken up into all the accounts. So whatever that number was would have gone to less accounts, right? Like I could have been looking at like 10 grand right now. Like
We
to
are,
only have 10 grand left
but here we are.
at 32 years old. But instead, I took 20 grand for grad school that I got to go to for free. And now I just cracked the $40,000 mark.
So bad.
What a fucking clown. But like that's the dumb shit. Again, I know we've done this a million times, but like nobody told me that. Like no one teaches you that. No one tells you. No one sits you down and does like the permutations, right? Like if I had sat down with someone, right? If I had a financial advisor, right, at 22, that was like, here's the permutations on 20 grand at 6.2% interest over the next, you know, 3 years before you have to start paying payments equals this, plus this payment, factor it out when you're 35 years old, you'll be at 36 grand to pay off, or you'll have like 7 grand to pay off. Right. Like if someone had sat me down and like showed me that, I would have been like, oh no, fuck that. I'll just eat ramen every day. But instead, I was like, oh, you're going to give me free money? Yeah, I'll take 20 grand as a 22-year-old in grad school.
Well, that's like one of the things if you like take a step back and look around and actually think about the process. If you wanted to go get a loan to start your own business like tomorrow and say you wanted to get 100K, you would need to provide collateral, you would need to provide financial documents, business plans, investors, principal, like everything.
Right.
And then they still might not give it to you. But when you then go, I need 160,000, or no, it's gonna be more than that. It's gonna be, I need $225,000 for school, and they go, sure,
Yeah, sure. Here you go.
yeah, whatever.
Yep.
And like they don't like interest rates. Like, what's an interest rate? They don't tell you that.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that. Does interest accrue from the second you get it, or is it once you
Yes.
graduate?
Nope.
Okay, so they don't tell you that interest accrues the second you take that money.
Right.
So that when they
So
say
you don't officially owe a payment until after you graduate. I think it's 6 months
it's
after
6 months after you
graduation.
graduate.
But so let's use my example, right? I started college in 2010. The loan that I received for my freshman year in 2010 started accruing interest immediately.
Yeah, so
I didn't owe
so
a
from
payment
September
on
to
it
2010
until
to
if I graduated in May of 2014. I didn't owe, well, then I
November.
went right into grad school, so it got deferred again. But if I had not gone to grad school, I wouldn't have owed a payment until November of 2014. That would have been 4 years is what? 56 months, 50 whatever that is, 48 months. What's 12 times 4? I don't do
48.
math.
It's
Yeah.
48.
So 48 plus 6, right?
So like if
54.
you
So it was
let's
54 months.
let's pretend
54 months of accrued interest on a loan that I got for just my freshman year in 2010
so
that
let's just
I
pretend your
didn't have
freshman
to
year
pay.
was 20K because it was probably a little bit less than that, but we'll just say it's 20,000. So
Well, I mean, also, I think my freshman year, I only needed a loan for like 5 grand because my
let's
freshman
call it
year,
10.
I got all kinds of crazy financial aid, which is the other
Let,
thing that
so let's
colleges do. Your freshman year, they give you all the financial aid in the world.
yeah,
And
'cause
then
then
your
they have you.
sophomore year, they're like, yeah, I don't think so. Not anymore.
Best I can do is $20.
Yeah.
So let's call it 20 grand because someone in your exact situation probably isn't paying fucking 5 grand for a year
Yeah. No,
anymore.
there's no way it's going to cost someone 5 grand for college
So
today.
at a six, let's just call it a 6.25 interest rate. Is
Yeah.
that crazy?
That's fair.
Okay. So after year one, you've added 1250 to your total. After year two, you're at 22.5. Year three, we're at 24. So on that, you earned an extra $5,500 Oh wait, hold on. Forgot the next six
That's the
months.
6 months.
3, 1, 2, 5. You are at 6,300 extra dollars just on that one
On a $10,000 loan.
on a $20,000 loan.
Oh, sorry, on a $20,000 loan.
On a $20,000 loan. So $6,300 that you now owe. So your college just went up by $6,300 on 20 grand. What is that?
Three,
Four
three and a
40.
half percent.
No, it's more than that. Way more than that. Hold on. 30, 35% increase, right?
32. Call it 32% increase.
32% increase. So your first year of college got 32% more expensive
Yeah,
just by taking the loan, deferring the interest. Like they don't tell you that.
right.
Like you come out of it thinking it's like, oh, well, I just got to start paying my whatever the total is. It's like, nope,
Yeah. Which is
that
kind of
total's gone up
wild when
crazy.
if you actually extrapolate it to like some people that pay, that's on a $20,000 loan. Some
Yeah,
people are taking
that's
out like a
one.
$50,000 loan for one single year.
And then, so that, yeah, that was one
Right. So
twenty thousand
effectively
dollar
like
loan.
double it. Right. So that would be, it'd be a little bit more than double. Right. So you're looking at probably close to $15,000
Added to the bill.
added to 1 year of a $50,000 loan. So if you go to college for 4 years, right, that's $200,000 just in money, right?
Principal.
Just in principle, right? Then you get your 15 grand from year one, call it,
12,
12 grand in year two, 10
6,
grand in year three. Yeah, six
or
in year
8.
three, go eight and then five, right? Like that's an extra, what did we say? 15, 12 is
It's like
27,
40 grand. It's almost like an extra
and
year.
eight is 30. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost an extra year. You're looking at like almost 40 grand in interest payments
But you
for,
can sign up for this shit, no questions asked.
yeah. Yeah. It's
But when
fucking
my business
wild.
when my business took, oh, what I forget, I don't know. I forget what our loan amount was, but call it a year of college
Yeah.
with like a crazy payback for that EIDL loan. But like I need to provide like all this crap and all this shit and certify this and certify that and prove what I was using the money for and send the expenses over with. I'm like, what the fuck? But if you want to do tuple that for a student loan, they don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid.
It's insane.
Stupid. It's actually borderline predatory. Not borderline. That is predatory
It is
fucking behavior.
predatory. Yeah.
And that's the thing is like the way that like if you want to like if this like so if the government was really out to help you, right? Because that's what student loans. Oh, the government good. Government will help.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they really wanted to help, there would be a class. Driver's ed, but student loan ed.
Right.
And you have to take that class and pass that test in order to be eligible for student loans.
Right.
But that's not in the government's favor because the amount of people there would be so few people that did that, then they don't get their loans.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's great business for the government, right? Again,
Yeah.
the government makes a ton of money until you get a situation like we're in right now, we're about to be in right now, where people literally can't afford to pay anything. And the government's like, hey, we need our money. And then people are like, well, we don't have any money to give you. The government's like, okay, cool, but we need something. And we're like, I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you, pal. And the government goes, uh-oh, we don't have any more money. And then we get a bigger problem, right? Because then effectively the government the government can actually never go bankrupt. They just print more money, which then leads to more inflation, which then causes more problems, right? But like it's
Well,
still none of it is good. None of it is good.
maybe they can stop making, hundreds of $1 million fucking accounting mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, whoops. We sent
Stop
an
sending your
extra
fucking
$100 million to Ukraine last year.
overseas.
Yeah. I saw that was another thing that I saw. Um, I know we fire back and forth in the Twitter group a lot, but one of the things I sent was like last week, JD Vance had said, "Oh, I want to institute a child tax credit. I want to bring it back, right? Because it was a thing during COVID and then it expired." And JD Vance goes, "I want to bring it back, but I want to make it $5,000, right? I think during COVID it was $3,000. So for
Something like that.
every kid that you have, you got a tax credit of $3,000, right? That was the policy." JD Vance goes, "Oh, I want to bring it back and I want to make it $5,000 for every kid."
I think that's in addition to a deduction as a dependent,
Yeah, probably.
I think, but then you can't write off certain things, I believe. So I'm trying to remember because obviously I don't have children. I want to say you got the tax credit and you got a standard deduction for claiming a dependent. So I mean, I want to say that that's worth like actually I don't know what the dependent's worth because a single person's worth like 12 grand standard
Yeah.
deduction.
Yeah.
So then you add the tax credit, but the tax credit came as cash or it came as a check. So I mean, it should be just be a fucking line item. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah. So I mean, regardless, right? So JD
Uh,
Vance comes out and says he wants to do a $5,000 tax credit this time for kids. And CBS News puts out this big report. It's not good. It's going to cost the government $250 billion, right? $250 billion sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it? But again, one of the things they don't tell you, like when the ice melts and they're like, "Oh my God, a bajillion million tons of ice melted this year." What they don't tell you is there's 1,000 bajillion million tons of ice. So one of that is not a lot, right? It's one thousand, and they project out, oh yeah, we would run out of ice at this current rate. We would run out of ice in like whatever that was, 2730 or whatever. They only have another like 700 years before we ran out of ice. What they don't tell you, right, is CBS News puts out this thing and they go, "Oh, this is going to cost the government $250 billion. It's going to add to the deficit." Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Can't do that. Dude, $250 billion. We have like, don't we have, I think we have like a 30 or a $300 trillion budget or something like that. Let me see. What is the US government total budget? Uh just give me the number. Jesus Christ. What is the budget? The US federal budget. Will this website tell me? 6 trillion. That was in 2021. So the latest information I can find is a $6 trillion budget in 2021. So I'm assuming it's gone up a little bit since then. But they're going to freak out over 250 billion.
drop in the bucket.
It's a drop in the fucking bucket. So then, like a week later, right after JD Vance announces the $5,000 tax credit, CBS News comes out and says, "Oh, it's so bad. It's going to cost the government so much money." Kamala Harris and her campaign comes out and goes, "We're going to do a $6,000 child tax credit." And wouldn't you know, CBS News comes out and goes, "This is great. This is going to help so many people." Think of all the families that are going to be helped by this.
I don't know how people, and this is the thing. I don't know how people watch the news, man.
A week ago, you said that a $5,000 tax credit was so bad for the government, it was going to cost $250 billion. Now a $6,000 tax credit, oh, it's so good for the people. Think of all the people it's going to help. You can sit on a giant fucking cucumber. CBS News. Like, just fuck off.
I don't know how anyone does it.
Yeah.
The news is so fucking bad.
So I mean, selfishly, as a one-time child haver, I don't really give a shit who wins in that regard because I'm gonna get I probably won't, right? They probably won't pal. They'll be like, oh no, that's can't do it. Congress won't help me. So I know I campaigned and said I was gonna do all these things, but Congress doesn't want to help me. So, can't do it. Can't make it happen. Realistically, I do care. I don't want Kamala to win. Even though she's going to give an extra $1,000 for a tax credit, I don't want her to win. I would I would rather RFK Jr. won than her. But I think I would rather Bernie Sanders than her. Like, just literally anybody but her. So, but yeah. Um, I don't even know time wise anymore because we've done two in a
I have
row
no
and
idea where we're at.
we could probably wrap this up. I think it's probably about that time.
All right. I saw this on Twitter. I don't know who had it. You got $25. You need to feed 9 people.
Oh, geez.
What are you doing?
25 bucks to feed 9 people.
I
I
didn't
don't
prepare
know.
this either. I just knew it would be a good
Probably, I feel like my only two options are either Taco Bell or Walmart.
Oh, no. You can cook.
Okay, okay. All right. Um, well, I'm gonna go to Walmart, right? Am I only allowed to cook with the things that I spend money on? Right? Like, do I have to spend part of that $25 on like butter or olive oil to like
I
oil a
would say
pan?
I would say no because yeah, like if you're gonna buy like I buy the salt in like the box,
Right,
it's like, if I want to salt and pepper the food, I shouldn't have to count like the $3 or whatever a box of salt costs
right.
when I'm using like fucking 3 pinches of it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, so I think you get to keep pantry staples. Let's
Okay,
use that as our
okay.
parameters. Like pantry staples, like butter, oil, spices. Um, where do I want to draw the line? I don't know where I want to draw the line. I think that's fine.
So I think what I'll probably do is I think you got to stay away from red meat. But I think what I would do is get ribs, chicken wings, and probably like a pork butt, do pulled pork and just smoke it all. Because I feel like you can get a rack of ribs for like $11, right? Like you can get 2 pounds of chicken wings for 9, $10. And then you can probably get like a pound and a half of pork butt for like $4. And there's your 25. So I would smoke ribs, wings, and pulled pork.
See, I went a little differently because I know obviously you're off the cuff. Truth, and I don't have the amount of food in front of me. Immediately though, doesn't sound like a lot of food for because it's like 9 people is like kind of a fucking lot.
Yeah.
Uh, but what I'm doing is I'm probably buying Nine people. What's that? Probably 3 boxes of pasta. So that's $3 right there.
That's a good move. I like the pasta. I like where you're going with this.
Uh, 2 cans of tomatoes and a can of tomato paste. That's only gonna cost me like $4. Tomatoes. I can figure it out from there. Um, I'm probably going back to the well, but I think I'm buying whole chicken legs because usually those are like 99 cents a pound.
Yeah.
Um, 9 people. I'm probably buying because I'm gonna throw a lot of it out, probably 7 pounds of that stuff, which I think I can get it. I think I feel even in 2024, I think I still can get that shit for 99 bucks. So they give that shit away.
Yeah.
Um, which only puts me at 18. What did I say? 7 pounds, 18. So I got 7 pounds to like fucking fuck around with. $7 to fuck around with.
Yeah.
What else am I putting in there? I could even top this fucking shit with cheese. Like I could do a lot of stuff. Um, but that's the thing is like, so, and then obviously what I'm doing there is I'm cutting the I'm getting the chicken legs, I'm cooking them whole,
Right.
and then I'm pulling the bones out, pulling the skin off, and just using the meat, like mix it around, and it would end up being like a shredded chicken pasta, something or other.
Yep.
Um, and I think 5 pounds of chicken and 3 boxes of pasta should be plenty. Like to the point that I could also with my leftover $7, like I could add cheese to it if I want to make it baked, or I could even just make like I could buy a whole loaf of fucking French bread and make
Yeah.
garlic bread
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Um, and still like have money left over. But the funny thing is whoever posted it, I don't know what they said. I don't know what their answer was. But obviously like you could even buy like a whole pork butt from the right place for like $1.50 a pound. So even a 10 pounder is 15 bucks. And then you just got to figure out how to basically just get some fucking rice mixed in there. Or
Right.
like rice, onion, peppers, like stuff like that, like cheap shit.
Yeah.
And like then you can have like a very cohesive thing. So it's like I actually didn't think it was that difficult of a exercise. Because like right then and there, I think I can feed 9 people pretty fucking good and I have money left over. And that's like again doing it on the fly. Like I didn't prepare anything.
Right. Right.
But I would like to highlight what someone on Twitter suggested.
Oh God.
And it was along the lines of a like baked tuna fucking casserole. And I'm
Oh
like, you
Christ.
have got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
And I think the person that did it like is someone who knows what the fuck they're doing around food. I'm
Trash.
like, $25 and 9 people,
Trash.
tuna casserole. That's the best you could come up with.
Yeah. Fuck
That's
that.
fucking terrible. And like, I get the logic. Like the logic is, you buy. I don't even know what goes in it. Is pasta in a tuna casserole? I would never eat such a thing.
I think so.
So that is that the idea? Like you get like 3 boxes of pasta. That's
Yeah.
like $3, and then I don't know, fucking 15 cans of fucking tuna,
Right. Yeah.
and that leaves you like $7 for whatever else the nastiness goes in this shit.
Ugh.
I don't know. But
No,
yeah, that was like the one that came to me, and I'm like, bro, it's not that hard.
it's not.
Like if you just put in a little bit of thought, not even a lot, just a little bit. Because I know you again, you were doing it on the fly. You probably didn't even like think like, why don't I just get a massive pork butt? It will
Right.
only cost me $15,
Right.
and then serve rice with it
Right.
and like easy.
Yeah.
Like I could easily feed 9 people with that. like a pound of pork butt per person, that's
Yeah.
plenty of food.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
more than enough food.
Right. Right.
And then yeah, you just do whatever you want after that. Like especially like head of like I just like okay, so you get a loaf of French bread. What's a loaf of French bread? Maybe $3,
Yeah.
like the big piece.
Right.
Butter was included, so you buy a head of garlic. That's like fucking 54 cents. And it's like, here you go, people.
Here you are. Yeah.
You could even get 12 pounds of 12 no, 10 pounds, 9 people. All right, so 9 pounds comes in just under $15. Probably two loaves of French bread. And you could just serve fucking sandwiches.
Right.
And that's a pound of pork butt and bread per person. How much more are these people eating?
Right. Yeah. What more do you need?
Yeah, and I'm like, because at first it's like, oh, only $25, 9 people. That's, and I'm like, no, just simplify.
Yeah.
Like people think they're gonna make chicken parm and fucking ravioli for fucking. They're like, oh, how can I afford that? It's like, it's not that hard.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a fun little exercise. Tuna casserole, though, get
Oh,
fucked.
like so bad. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
people are just like,
The worst.
you people are just disgusting.
All right.
Make a nice egg salad for fucking nine.
Yeah. Gross. So my final thought is I started watching Rick and Morty again. I picked up, I think, in season 6, and I finished season 6, and now I'm like 1 or 2 episodes into season 7, and it's still really fucking good. Like
I
it's
didn't even know they were
funny.
up to season 7.
Yeah, it's funny to see them like actually make like recurring story arcs. And like I know that was the whole point. Like the writers were talking about like we want to make it more than just a standalone, every episode is its own thing, and like even season to season, like there's continuity now between like there's almost inside jokes of shit that like they say in season 6 from stuff that happened in like season 2. Right. So like it's funny, like it's all connected. It's pretty good. Um so yeah, I mean, like I said, it's I'm only like 1 or 2 episodes into season 7, but it still bangs. Rick and Morty still got it. Because I think they lost one of the writers. I think it was Justin Roiland, who I actually put on my death pool for this year. I think they kicked him off the show because he had a substance abuse problem. So I don't know if he came back or, if it was a temporary hiatus or what, but I know they did remove him from the show at one point. So who knows? But even without him, show is still really good. So shout out to Rick and Morty. Uh, so yeah, that's going to do it for us. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe up top, hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're an audio only listener as well, and leave us a review and 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website, sarcasmspeaks.com. Check out the links, the show notes below. Geez. The show notes below. Follow those links to get some discounts on some great products, and support them, support us. So until next time, good night, everybody.